What's up, Nomad Nation? You've got Godfather, you've got Fireball, you've got Chungus, and we make up your Nomad Gamers. Boys, it is the weekend.
You
It
might have
is.
to like lower your tone a bit because I can hear it.
Oh, hold on. I have a technical malfunction going on. I'll be right back. We're going to have to restart this.
No, okay, I'll just stop it now.
What's going on?
I don't know. Oh, his fucking laptop came unplugged.
Oh. Yeah, that's not really good.
No, it's not.
Hey, you motherfucker.
I think I know what the problem might be.
How much lower do I have to talk? All right.
Are we
Remember,
good
it's
then
just a
now?
normal speaking voice.
All right. Take two.
All right, here we go. I'll signal you when it's ready.
What's up, Nomad Nation? You've got Godfather. Why are you shaking your head no? Redo it. Don't shake your head.
I literally told
Don't.
you I would signal you when it's ready, when it's clicked in.
Well, I saw the goddamn
Oh,
recording.
was it? Because on my side
Yeah.
it wasn't. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
If you
it's
see it,
going.
then yeah, it'll be
Hold
good.
on. Hold
Okay.
on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. All right. Hit it.
Oh, you're gonna hate this.
We gotta make a new one now, don't we?
It might work out in our advantage because Grandpa is mowing.
Mm. Let me go check out
So I'm going.
check out Twitch real quick.
I'm going hot and heavy on the shop today. So
Yep,
hopefully we'll be ready.
he had to send us a new.
All right. I'm out of here.
Sorry about the delay. We are currently experiencing some technical issues. So we're going through the motions right now, trying to get everything back in order. Good to see you, Crest Rider. But right now we're in the middle of resetting something. Quick.
Good.
We're good.
All right, hitting record. Just go whenever it pops up.
Hey, what's up, Nomad Nation? You've got Godfather. You've got Fireball. You got Chungus, and we make up your Nomad Gamers. It is another weekend, gentlemen.
It's been a
It is.
busy week.
It has. So let's get through all the socials real quick. Where are we at on Facebook, by the way?
88 followers.
88. We
We
are
were at
almost,
86. We're at
88.
88. Mm-hmm.
we're 12 away. So share us with your friends. We need to get to that 100 mark. We're so we're so close. Man, it's right there. Hey, if you're watching us and you're not a follower of us on Facebook, go over to Nomad Gamers, hit that follow button, turn on the notifications. That way, anytime your Nomad gamers come live at you, you're going to know. If you're watching us on YouTube, thank you. You found the home of the Nomad gamers. Somewhere over by Fireball, you're going to see the subscribe button. Somewhere by me, you're going to see the heart button. Somewhere by Chungus, you're going to see the thumbs up button. Smash all three of them. That way, every time that we come live or we come with any kind of recorded content, you are going to be notified. Now, for all of the watchers on Fireball 123D's social accounts that are watching us live today, thank you very much. You have found Fireball 123D. Now, do us all a favor, head over to the Nomad Gamers socials. That means Facebook, YouTube. Look us up on everything. We're literally on every social media platform, but besides X, and find us and follow us.
Well
So, what do we
said.
talk about today,
Well
boys?
said. Well, I think if you were to look at our nameplates, right under mine it says that 2025 is a bust, which to me, with
We all
GT,
know what we're about to, the first thing we're about to talk about. You know what it is. We heard the news.
GTA 6 is being delayed to March 26,
May.
2026, or
It's even
May
worse.
20,
It's May.
May 26, 2026. This
Oh
game,
god.
this game better, this game better
This game
be.
better perform surgery at this rate.
Hmm.
Like, I'm always for them. Like, and I always advocate. Like, if you're take your time. You know, if it's gonna be rushed out and it will be bad because of that, yeah, don't do that. If you can afford to delay it, then delay it. However, I caveat this game has been in development since we're just gonna we'll give it a nice 10 years. It's been 10 years. It's been a decade.
Hmm. This game
A lot.
better. This better be the game of all games.
It's been a big game of the decade. It's been a big game of the century. I'm not gonna lie to you.
That's
Um,
unacceptable.
that is, I mean, again, but we can't contradict ourselves when talking about this because me and Chungus both believe in the fact that if a game is not ready, delay it.
It's unacceptable. And I'm being very, very consistent with a triple A company like Rockstar. This is highly, highly unacceptable. It really is.
But I mean, to a certain point, I would say it is unacceptable. Here, I'm taking my glasses off because my reflection on my glasses too, or my screen is a little too much. But back to what I was saying, to me it is okay because when they do finally launch, there really better not be any game breaking bugs that most games have with their launch because they try to push it out too early. However,
Well,
I also believe in the fact that, they have been drip feeding us content when it comes to GTA 5. Although we all want something new, the fact that they are still drip feeding us GTA 5 is at least something we can get out of it from Rockstar. We're getting some sort of content out of Rockstar. It's not like they
no,
haven't it's not like they haven't gone radio silent.
Bad content does not equate to it being worthwhile. I will state that now. Speaking on it from Destiny, yeah, they gave us content every now and then. It was slow in between, but the content they gave in between was also just ass. It wasn't good. Good content is not a replacement for you releasing a new game or releasing decent content. You can drip feed content all you want, but if it's not worthwhile, people are not gonna play, and that very much reflects within GTA 5's player count. You really only see a big number of players still going in to do other things that's not the content that they release. Hell, a lot of the big YouTubers that made videos on GTA 5 and their updates don't even do those anymore.
So I got a comment from Crossrider, and it says, "What is unacceptable is the marketing and upper echelon announcing a release date without consulting developers first, creating the crunch situation where programmers live at the office for months on end."
Yeah.
Which I do agree with that. If like
My issue's never with developers. I want to state that here and now because I know that they are
well,
doing the work. They have to abide by their
quota,
upper management. You know, they have to
that
abide by that. They're just workers.
how long has this game been in development? That's what I want to know. And I don't think any of us have a definitive answer on that.
13 years.
We have, well, okay.
Not really. I was just making a joke.
I
it's
know.
actually been in development for about 11 years now. Currently, that includes the pre development, as in like getting storyboarding, getting ideas down, everything like that.
I would say, and just
11.
on just on the basis of with the events of COVID happening too, I would say it was probably in development for 9 years.
No,
No, COVID
this
cannot
is
be used as it's not an excuse
no.
for the development because unironically they can take their work home. They don't have to work in the office, and Bungie genuinely. Again, I don't like to reference back to them all the time, but Bungie
It's like
definitely
referencing a
proved that
toxic ex.
yeah, legitimately, Bungie proved time and time again that they can do it. You don't need to be in the office to complete the work. They gave us Witch Queen during the COVID era. One of the
Fair,
best DLCs they have ever released. I don't. I mean, there's no excuse. There's no excuse for Rockstar on this.
fair.
No,
I mean,
no, there's
it would
none.
be. I feel like, and I know I'm kind of defending him here just because they are, to me at least, that they've come out with some great content and they haven't really. They've disappointed me, but they haven't really um failed me, I would say. But Chris Ryder just said it's a Rockstar game. It'll launch absolutely busting with content. It'll also mean that bugs fixes will be so far more complex. I'd rather see the delay in the release of a good game rather than the buggy mess of most games launch nowadays.
Yep, I agree with that sentiment. That's why, like, I'm giving them the
I
leeway for this
yeah,
like extra couple of months, but it's getting to the point where it's like, okay, don't announce the next release date. Just say it's delayed until we can get it ready to launch. I would rather not be anticipating a
Emmett
launch
Keegan, thank you for the
and
follow.
and,
Sorry.
and for it to just come out when it comes out.
yeah. This is getting ridiculous, and it's not just Rockstar that I'm
It's the
looking at.
industry.
It's industry wide. This is getting highly unacceptable.
But again, I also think this falls back to the fact that we all, and I think I can agree with us when we all say this. All three of us want new games,
We've been
correct?
getting new games this entire year. Yeah,
So, but these companies that are like saying we're pushing back development timelines, we're pushing back timelines, we got to keep delaying. Why not just come out and say like, hey, we got to push back timelines, but and for the result of us pushing back this timeline, here's like here's like a remastered game to hold you guys over.
Because all the resources are in that new game.
I mean, yeah, that's fair enough to.
I
I
mean,
I
Rockstar
would
literally has their dev
yeah,
teams separated to Red Dead game and GTA. For them to make like they pushed off to a third party company to make those remasters, the definitive edition.
I gotta readjust something real quick.
yeah. I don't know.
I give them leeway right now, but I will say this and reiterate it: if you're gonna have to delay, don't give us another date. Just say it's delayed until it's ready to launch, and then you give us the date it's ready to launch, and then launch it.
Hmm.
I don't want to hear May 26th of 2026. I would rather you say it's delayed until we can launch it, and then you launch it when you can.
This tells me that something major broke within the game on one of the final. Uh, because right now everything is damn near done, and they were doing final testing on certain aspects of the game.
Touch ups and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah, and something major broke,
Well,
Oh
and
yeah.
again, that comes back to what Chris Ryder says is they're testing the game now. I'd rather them delay it and be like, hey, we have to delay it. They don't give us a reason, which I feel like gaming companies should be more transparent. I feel like they win a lot more hearts and minds if they were more transparent with what's going on with their development. Because we all know GTA 6
look,
is coming out. But
hey,
because
hey
we all know.
Fireball. Let's be honest. We're talking about Rockstar. These guys keep a freaking iron curtain when it comes to any of their games. And when that iron curtain is broken, you will find yourself behind bars.
Well, yeah,
Just ask the one guy who did the leak.
but again, you can have an iron curtain, but at the same time be like, hey, we have to delay. But give a vague, and they could also give a vague answer on top of that. Be like,
No.
hey, we have to delay the game, but it's because of bug fixes, or hey, we have to delay the game because something went wrong.
Yeah,
Well,
I
here's
agree
the
with
thing,
that. So
and here might be one other reason I cannot believe that I'm defending Rockstar. Would we actually understand the reasoning if they gave it to us?
I could probably understand it. I'm
I
not
could
gonna lie to
probably
you.
understand it.
I try to keep myself well versed with
Okay,
the
okay,
terminology and actually goings on of game
okay.
development for the sheer fact of and that's why a lot of the times when it's like this game's delayed, like it's not the dev's fault. I know it's not the
But
dev's fault.
that's YouTube. That
Yeah.
is YouTube. Okay, and YouTube belong to a very small minority of the gaming world
Mhm.
that actually understand this. When you break down to the normal gamer who could give two shits less about coding, they could give a shit less about the graphics or what goes into making it. All they want is the game.
And that's
That's it.
that's very
So when you
fair.
start when you
Well,
start throwing out $20 words, you're going to lose them. So for once, I agree with Rockstar. If you're just going to delay it, just say, "Hey, it's delayed," and leave it at that.
Or if they
oh,
did,
I
even
say
if
that like say it's going to be delayed, but give a reason as to why it's delayed. Because
just
I'll make this kind of point real quick. Legitimately, for the people who are we'll just say versed in the language of the industry, um, they can give out those $20 words and those people can understand it, but that's the reason why these types of videos like explaining everything out, like hey, here's why it's happening, exist and why they're fairly popular, because there's Joe Schmo's not gonna go and take the time and learn the terminology. He's gonna go watch a video of somebody explaining it to him, therefore getting a clearer picture of the understanding of it. So if companies were more transparent in their dealings and why they are actually doing what they're doing, I would trust them a lot more. There's nothing better than a company I can trust that's just very transparent and open, like CD Projekt Red has been time and time again. And we'll see. Cyberpunk was a little iffy now and then in terms of their releasing of why things are getting delayed, but at the end of the day, they still proved like, hey, we're going to tell you what's going on.
and I like
The very
and
least.
this I like what Chunga says about this because even though there's one gaming developer right now that I am completely following right now. His name is Tyler. He is an indie game developer. He's been the one that's been creating Schedule 1. He has been on Twitter, or I think it's on X. I think it's on X, but he has been coming out and he's been saying, hey, you know, here's what's going on. I'm not getting this down right away. Or, hey, I went out and hired a couple of developers to help me work on the updates. Or, hey, I got to push back the update by a week because something went wrong within the beta testing. Or, hey, we decided to scrap this idea altogether. The having transparency within a gaming company to its consumers makes makes it so much better. You guys can hear that, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Heard that you looked over, it's like, oh, there's sirens there.
I forgot the
No,
window was open.
I agree with that sentiment, but at the same rate, it's like looking at indie devs, small teams, the independent studios. They always do a good job at communicating with the consumer, with the market, with the player base, because they were once that player base. They're typically, and most devs typically are gamers to some degree. A lot of them aren't nowadays though, because people just go into it for the money, not necessarily for making art anymore. So we do have a lot more of the words escaping me right now, but along the lines of like becoming more corporatalization, things like that. Um, so now it's just purely for the profit margin and not for the fact of
Uh-huh.
making art. Like you look back at the older games, and I don't want to put nostalgia goggles on because I do recognize that gaming is better in terms of technology now, at least. So games are technically better, while they are missing some heart and soul every now. Like some games you just play and it's like this doesn't. Who gives a fuck?
Mm.
This is feels like nothing. But then there's those one hit wonders, and that's how they are now. They're one hit wonders where you play it. And it's like I can tell time and attention was put into this, and people genuinely cared about what they were making, not from the perspective of being able to sell it, but being able to bring something to life, some visualization to the screen for people to enjoy.
Hey, Crest Rider, if you're talking about the chat spammers in my kick chat, I cannot see it. So if you could tell me what they're saying, maybe I can try to figure it out later. But I cannot see anything right now with it. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I got
Oh,
Chris
go ahead.
Ryder. Chris Ryder's been kind of helping me with all the chats that I have because I've got Twitch, YouTube, uh, Kick, and TikTok chat that I've been trying to monitor. Well, do we have anything else we want to say about GTA 5 or GTA 6 before we um
No, no, that's just a kick in the nuts for everybody.
oh, Chris Ryder. Yeah, I saw that. That was on my YouTube chat. I can't get rid of that
You got
right
to tell
now.
us what he said.
He just said it's up on your live chat right now, and I see it there on my chat. So it's somebody basically saying, "Hey, do you want to pay for followers?"
You just
Oh,
block and ban them.
the answer to that would be no.
Well, since we're gonna move on, I will start us
Yeah.
off with our next one. Um, Xbox. You guys seen that?
What about him?
They are, they are, from what I saw is they are upping the prices on all their Xboxes. The Xbox Series X, the Xbox Series S, even older Xboxes. The Xbox Series X and S are going up $100, and games moving forward are going to be priced at $80 a game.
Okay, cite your source, please.
Uh, let me grab it real quick.
Because to me, that's kind of like a boneheaded move on their part.
So, raising prices on Xbox consoles, controllers, headsets, and some games. The price hike for consoles and accessories kicks in today, May 1st. As of recording, this is not the first, so this is old information now, technically. And while game prices will stay the same for now, we should expect to see Xbox charging $79.99 for new first party games around the holiday season. Price increases are taking effect globally, with the exception of headset prices, which are only going up in the US and Canada. Going forward, here are the expected prices of various Xbox consoles and accessories in the US specifically. Xbox Series S, 512 gigabytes, is going up to $380, up from 300 itself, so it's 80 more dollars. The Xbox Series S 1 terabyte is 430, up from 350. The digital Series X is up to 550, up from it's $100 more, up from 450. The Series X itself is 600 now instead of 500, and the Xbox Series X 2 terabyte special edition is now 730 instead of 600. And while the Xbox controllers are uh, somewhat similar in price, like Xbox Wireless Controller Core, $65. The Xbox Wireless Controller Color, 10 more dollars. It's now 70 instead of just 60. Special edition controllers up to 80. Limited edition controllers up to 90. Elite controllers up to 150. Uh,
Mm,
Yes, I know,
headset
Chris. Yes, I know, Chris
60.
Ryder. Microsoft said it, but again, we got to bring sources when we're talking about this stuff.
uh Xbox wireless headset. Yeah, this is all from official Xbox announcement page on their own page. So this is official, and it is seemingly only to be taking effect for the U.S. and
Prob-
Canada.
mm,
I mean, and it makes sense with what's going on in
mm,
the real world. So we expect to see price increases for U.S. gamers.
mm.
Yep, we got the source for it, Chris Ryder. Yeah, I know. I should have checked Microsoft's Twitter, but I was too busy trying to figure out how to get that chat off, and I can't get that chat off right now. So,
Hmm. No, I only asked for sources because you don't want to spout something off live. Um, and I just want it to be the total package.
hmm
And I don't want any kind of questions coming back up later. But this is very disheartening to hear that Xbox seems to think that all of these gamers are made of money. Um,
Well, it's an industry issue because Sony's been doing it for quite some
it's
time
not.
since COVID. It's an issue
Yeah,
all
it's
around.
not. Yeah, I get that. But like you said, there's events going on in the world that's kind of behind this driving it too.
Hmm.
But
sorry, I had to pause it real quick just
it,
so I could adjust stuff.
it's just for me, it's just disheartening that uh, and you know, I think they're going to see their sales go down because who in the hell is going to go out and drop $750 on a console that honestly is probably going to get replaced what in the next year or two? I think we were
This
reporting on
is
that 6 months ago.
why I will just rate people to get a low end PC and never have to worry about it.
Well, even then, and this is like when I first saw the news, I personally got a little bit uh annoyed with it because it almost seemed like Xbox. And now that it got brought up, with the standings that are happening in the world right now, um, yeah, and Crest Rider, you just stole my thunder, so I'm just gonna say it because you said it. It boils down to Nintendo had the balls to say it first. Now everyone is now following suit. Current events driving it or not, the dam has been broken.
Well, the dam was broken back in 2020 when PlayStation started increasing the prices of their games and consoles in the rest of the world. The UK, Europe in general, Australia, New Zealand. It legitimately they've been doing this for a while. It's nothing new. It's just
Uh-huh.
I think now they
And
see
this
the
is
opportunity to raise it and use the excuse of what's
Well,
going on in the world.
what.
here's the other
Oh,
part too.
go ahead.
I kind of expected this to happen, and I think I said
You
it
did. You did.
midweek, and I said it before I left on my
Vacation.
little
Vacation.
adventure. No, it was not a vacation. Um, when we started getting rumors that Grand Theft Auto was going to be at 100 or even possibly $120, I said unless the gamers unite, and Fireball even agreed with me on this, unless we unite and say fuck that, we're not paying that kind of money, that uh, the other companies were going to follow suit. And we've now seen Nintendo announce price rises or price increases. I'm sorry, and now Microsoft, and everybody knows that PlayStation was up in their money only because they were sitting on an island and they were trying to keep the boat afloat.
Well, and this is another thing that
So,
like and this is the way that I see it is video games now are seeming more of like a high middle class to rich endeavor because
yep,
of the amount of prices that it keeps going up. Back in the
yep,
day,
How they were. That's how they were back in the day, and I don't mean back in our day. Back in his day,
hmm
hmm
this is how it was back in those times. You know, it you don't buy a console every 2 3 years when they release. You wait. You'd have that same one for probably about 5 to 10 years.
hey, Chungus, you remember back when we were talking about console wars?
Mm-hmm.
And I was off by 4 to 5 years on the Nintendo, the NES, the original.
Mm-hmm.
You know why that was?
Because you had it for so long.
No,
because you
because we
waited
could
so.
damn thing when it no, we could not afford the damn thing when it first came out. So as a kid, you had to wait until it came down in price, and then you had to cross your fingers, your toes, your legs, your arms, whatever you could think, pray to whatever, uh,
Whatever you believe in.
yeah, whatever you believe in. That at Christmas, when you ripped open that present, there sat your NES, and pray to God that if one of your friends got it, that you could go over and play it. He became the cool kid on the block. So when it comes down to the prices today are really not that much different than they were back in the late 80s, early 90s. The only difference is that three, four, $500 is almost like 80, 90, $100 from then.
hmm
So it's still kind of the same. We're just talking different numbers. And when you talk different numbers, then people think, oh my God, these things have went through the roof. In reality, they haven't. But the
Me,
gaming industry needs to be very careful on how much they raise these prices because before long,
Careful.
if they're not careful, oh excuse me, if they're not careful, these PC companies out there, because there's a lot more PC companies than there are console companies. These PC companies are going to drop the floor out on their gaming laptops and then Steam is going to take over. But I do have my bitches about Steam too. Don't get me started on Steam.
What's wrong with Steam? Out of curiosity, actually, I do. I genuinely want to know.
Okay. So when you buy a console game, and I'll give you an example, okay?
Mhm.
Starfield. And yes, I brought it up, but I'm not talking to actual gameplay.
Yeah, I know
No,
you're
he's
just
talking about
yeah.
bringing up an example.
And
Yeah,
when I bought Starfield on the Xbox, when Shattered Space came out, I didn't have to pay for Shattered Space. You go to Steam Deck and you look for Starfield, you got Starfield, and then you got Starfield Shattered Space.
and I can explain that for
And
you as
both
well.
of them, well, you can explain until the cows come home, Chungus, but at the same time, I'm not going to accept it because if the councils are melding them together, then Steam and it's probably the developer. So let's just call a spade here. It's probably Bethesda, but you can't have that double standard between the PC and the consoles. If the consoles are getting it for free and it's just an update, then Steam or Bethesda, let's just go Bethesda,
Okay. Crest
they
Rider
need to
just
do the
said
same
something.
thing when it
Hold
comes
on,
Hold on.
hold on,
to
Hold on
hold
real
on,
quick
Steam.
because this
hold on. In general, because I want to get my point across first, because we're here talking. Legitimately, I was going to tell you it's Xbox Game Pass specifically. That's why you got the DLC for free. It's on Xbox
mhm,
Game Pass.
that's exactly why.
It's not. It's
And
if you had PC Game Pass, I guarantee you you would also get the DLC for free as well. If you got went through Xbox to get it, not through Steam. So it's
and
an Xbox
the only
deal,
the only
not
the only problem with PC Game Pass is bec- so uh let's just to air stuff out. Godfather plays on my Xbox. He loves playing Xbox, and because I've got a PC now, I still have access to the same games on PC Game Pass as Xbox would have an Xbox Game Pass. So he can't play PC Game Pass because it's connected to my account, and he have to be signed under my account in order to play PC Game Pass. So that's why he's playing on the Xbox.
No, I get my own. I don't need that.
But still, it's we're kind of saving money right now by you playing on the Xbox and I'm on my PC. But what
but
Crest
that's
hold on, what
I was gonna say what his point is because
Crest
go ahead.
Rider said that price is up to the developer. DLC prices are not controlled by Steam.
And that's what I said is I corrected myself and I said it's probably Bethesda. And whether it be Xbox or PC or Xbox Pass, Game Pass or PC Xbox Game Pass, I'll even flip the script for you. Someone looked this up. Uh, Grand Theft Auto, all of their DLCs. Do you have to pay for it online too?
No,
No.
No. Okay. Hey, I'm a rookie when it comes to this PC thing, but I'm getting more into it because of all these goddamn games that
Crest Rider
Xbox and PlayStation is playing.
Crest Rider said boils down to hate and Steam for something they have no control over.
yeah, it's
No,
hold on.
no, 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 no. You see, here we go again. I corrected myself and I said it is probably Bethesda, i.e., Xbox, because Xbox owns Bethesda.
S- So you're saying that your position has changed? That it's like okay, it's not Steam's fault. I don't hate them now.
Yeah,
Okay,
Okay.
I think that's
I
where he
never
was.
said I
That's
Okay.
where
hated
he
them to
was.
begin with.
No, no, no. You said dislike. You did say dislike. You didn't say hate is a
I
strong
said
word.
dislike.
Yeah.
Yeah, hate is a very strong word.
Because
I
Steam, like for me, Steam is when I talk about corporations being very transparent, Steam. Steam time and time again has proven to me that they are trustworthy with who they have in charge now. They are trustworthy and that's what when sales come on, I look at it as a big deal. So I was like, okay, I want to support them because if I keep supporting them, they'll keep supporting the consumer that comes to their online game store to purchase
I'm
their games. Plus, I've never had an issue like whenever I've had my account security put into jeopardy, they've always been lickety split trying to fix things. They're very quick on refunds within their policy and everything like that. Their code of
Mhm.
conduct in terms of
Hey
service is
Chungus,
pretty fun, pretty awesome.
bring it down a bit. I'm starting to hear a little echo.
Huh?
But
but no, like Steam is pretty through and through. They've proven to me that they can be trusted, and until they prove to me that they can't be, I will keep trusting them. With that being said, I do wish there was some more integration with like Xbox and Steam and PlayStation and Steam just to make it a bit Destiny. And I know it's like, oh, you can just make a PlayStation account or make an Xbox account and they through cross play through that as well. But
I will
that's neither
say
here nor
this: I have never seen like a sale place. Hold on, sorry, everything just went black for a second. I've never seen a company have so many sales than what Steam has. How many sales within a year they have? They've got the spring sale, they've got the summer sale, fall sale, winter sale. They've got sales in between those sales, and it's not like they're just saying, "Oh, we're just gonna slap a 10% or a 20% on this sale." I've seen most of their games go for 70% or above, and it's so like you kind of sit there and you look at these sales and it's like, are they making a profit off of this? Is there like,
they do.
and it's like you see these sales and it's like they can't be made. And then again, yeah, they're still making a profit
So I
off
mean,
of it, but it's like
just to
you
give
look
you an
at the
actual number
sales.
real quick, it's 20. There's 25 Steam sales a year. That's including the big four of the quarter. You know, spring, summer, fall, winter.
Um,
Ooh.
this
Ooh.
is the other thing that I saw, and I saw this a while ago, but I want to bring it back up. The other thing that I'm really starting to hate about gaming companies as a whole is companies that have come out and said, if you're buying a digital copy from us, you're not buying the game. You're buying the license to the game. And not too long ago, there was a big lawsuit going on against Ubisoft talking about because I remember Godfather and I.
Players are to get used to not owning games.
And I remember Godfather and I used to play this game a lot. You remember the crew, Godfather? So
I sure do.
they shut down the servers to the crew, and everybody that owned a physical copy could no longer play the game because it was a live service game. And once they shut down the servers to it, you could no longer play the game because it didn't even have a single player. It was always connected online. So now a bunch of gamers came together and started a class action talking about how
I'm gonna wait. I was gonna let you finish your point. I didn't want to interrupt you. I was like,
so
I had a point.
they started this lawsuit talking about we bought a physical copy of the game. We have this game. This game is we own this game. We should be able to have the rights to play this game as a single player. Even if they don't bring back the multiplayer version of it, they should still be able to play it as a single player.
So I was gonna state, if that's they're starting a class action, so they're not looking to gain any sort of monetary gain from this. They just want to bring back the game in an offline manner.
Hmm.
So even if they do that, that's all fine and dandy. However, with the statement that it is a live service game, even if you buy a physical copy of a live service game, the fact that it is a live service game could mean support for it can end at any point in time, and
I
there's
don't.
nothing you can do for it.
It was never advertised like that.
If
Hey, Chungus. Hey, everybody. I have to go backstage for a minute. I will return. You two keep going.
okay, I
Okay.
put them backstage.
But again,
I'll,
no. They just the thing is the thing about the crew was it was advertised as a open world MMO game where you can go play with your friends, and there should be a single player mode to it.
See, here's the thing though. It had I'm looking at advertisements by Ubisoft themselves. It has been and was advertised as an online only racing game. So it was advertised correctly as an online only. I get why people are upset at that fact and wish that it was and I can understand the fact of like, oh, you should bring back support for this or like suing to bring back support. That's fine. But they can't get mad
Even
at the online only games taking away support. That's literally it could happen at any point in time.
I understand that, but again, look at these bigger games out here. Especially look at GTA. Look at GTA 5 for last gen consoles for like
Hmm.
Xbox 360, PS3. They shut down online services for it, but if you wanted to, you could still play the single player version of it.
Yes, that's
They
because it
should.
came with the single player. Because it came with the single player game. The crew did not come with single player at all.
Okay, so then you're telling me a game that I bought for, I don't know, let's say, well, I didn't buy it when it first came out. I bought it for $30. So you're telling me that I've just got a $30 paperweight now?
Yes, exactly. Because you bought access code to an online only game.
Even if I
That'd
have a
be like,
physical
hold on,
copy.
even if you have a physical copy, because there's no single player. You knew what you were signing up for. You literally knew it was an online only game and still purchased a physical copy for it.
I
It would be
I
different. It would be different. It would literally be different if it was like Call of Duty. Let's say you bought the Call of Duty game, $60 right there. They took away online, but you still had single player to play. Would people still be upset? Yes, they still would be upset because you have bought a physical copy of that game. You can still access portions of it, but the online's not always guaranteed. They can be upset all they want, but that's not a guarantee at the end of the day. Support for that could end. And we've seen that in older Call of Duty servers being shut down. They only brought them back for backwards compatibility with Xbox. So
okay.
it's not out of the realm of possibility that this is not something new. This is just something that was either misconstrued or not
But
represented in the correct
we're
manner.
going
So
off the
people are upset.
topic that I was trying to bring up though is, you know, gaming companies are out here saying that you no longer have even if you buy a physical copy to the game, you no longer have access to that game. We could revoke access to that game at any time, even if you buy a physical copy to it.
Now with Ubisoft, I know exactly what they mean, and they do mean the malicious intent of single player games you not having access to anymore. That is horseshit. But the example you gave is what I'm going off of because you gave an example that's online only. Yeah, I can understand that it's online only.
Right, and like talking to you about that, I can understand that too. But there are other companies out there that say we will, even if you have a physical copy of the game. Let's say I went out and I know,
Can you name one besides Ubisoft for me?
oh, fuck. I'd have to refine the source, but this was like 2 months ago.
So are you talking about a live service?
The one I was talking about, yes, was a live service.
And my next question would be, is it at the end of its life? Because here's the thing with the crew, I don't think they came out with a crew too, did they?
They
Yes.
did.
And that's live service as well, correct?
Hold on. I'm looking it up right now. There are some laws out there.
Some laws on what?
So I'm looking at. I looked up something, and it says gaming companies can have removed games from players' libraries after purchases, even if even after the servers have shut down. This is this goes for digital games typically being sold as licenses and not outright ownership. This is the whole debate that I'm going on between physical copy and digital copy.
Okay.
Um,
I
and
guess I'm
now
trying to figure out what's the
I honestly, the thing is I think we're moving away from from the physical copy of being able to own
mhm.
physical copies, and I think that you shouldn't, they shouldn't do that because, again, with everything going digital, they have the right to just come in and take the game out of your library, even if you bought it, because it's a
Well, here's the thing.
license and not a physical copy.
So let me ask you this question. Okay. Is because you brought up the crew, and I know I'm like 5 minutes late because I had to attend to something real quick.
Hmm.
But was there a sequence to the crew right after that?
What do you mean?
Like a crew 2? Was there another game called the crew?
Yeah, the crew too. But here's the thing that the
Okay.
point that I'm trying to make
Hold on,
is you got gamers.
hold on, Fireball. Hold on. So the gamers want the developer to split their manpower in half and keep the servers running for the crew along with the crew 2,
You,
and then complain when they're not getting new games because now there's because like someone as critical as me with these game developers, you're not bringing games out fast enough. I've always said that after the new game drops 6 to 8 months later, you drop the old game and keep moving forward. That way, you're always having that springboard effect.
I mean, yeah, but the whole. Oh, I'm looking at a few things.
He's talking Fireball is specifically talking about the ownership of said game, not necessarily any of the resources that go into keeping the servers alive or anything
Okay.
like that.
Well,
He's meaning specifically games that are purchased digitally, you are buying a license for. You're buying
mhm.
access to the software and whatnot to
Well,
play the game. You're not
even
actually owning the game.
when you buy a physical copy, you are pretty much buying a license for it.
Yeah,
No, no.
nowadays, yes. Yeah, you are. He's not
Yeah.
Even
wrong.
in the older days, you
There's
were.
a reason. There's a reason why even if you buy a disc game today, you go to pop it in, you can't play it immediately. You have to download stuff still. It's just an access code. That's all discs are nowadays.
Because right now, um, and this happened back in 2023 with EA. EA shut down shut down servers for games, including Battlefield 1942, and and players lost access to those games.
Hmm.
So they lost access to playing those single player
Mhm.
portions of the game.
Mhm.
Can you what is this from? What is the news site?
Um. Uh. I'll send it to you. But I send it to your mobile. Your
For me,
mobile
this
phone.
is a non-starter.
But again,
Like if you're
this also happened with Helldivers too, where people had their licensing revoked because PSN was trying to enforce the requirement for having a PlayStation Network account.
That's on Sony.
God, yeah, that's a
That's
different,
literally
whole
on
different ball
Sony.
of wax.
That's a whole ball game. That's not on them. If they want to restrict people from playing the game, they
But
need to
this
issue refunds out to these players and then tell them to kick rocks then at that point. Because if you're not going to let people have access and then revoke access after they paid for it, give them their money back then. That's as simple as that is. Or don't do stupid things like restrict people from having access to those
And
games.
and then on top of that, if the game is a live service and it's been out for a damn decade, it's time to move on. I don't care how good the game is.
okay, but
And
I will ask.
that hold on. That is one of the pitfalls of where the gaming industry is going now with all of these live service games. Because right now, if you were to go back, plug in your NES and pop in Super Mario Brothers, the damn thing is going to work just like it did back in the early 90s.
Right,
Today, today, if you waited 10, 20, 30 years into the future, plug in your old PS5 or your old Xbox Series X, turn on any of those games, they ain't going to work, man.
right. And what I'm trying to
It's
say,
simple as that.
the point I'm trying to make on the matter is um you know, we're talking about the prices of of consoles and games nowadays. So what if a family or what if somebody who wants to play video games can't afford the brand new um Xbox Series X or Xbox or PS5, so they're still playing on a PS3 or they're still playing on a PS4 and they want to play their single player game that they've got a physical copy of, or even if they can't find a physical copy of the game, so all they
I
have is the
want to
digital copy.
specify on a point that I was wrong on. Uh, Physical CDs still those are the full game that you own that. So I was wrong in that matter. It's not ever, it's for live the live service games. However, it's more still access, but it's still you own
And
it. If there's a
and
single player portion to it, they can never get rid of it because you own the actual fucking disc to
yeah,
put in there. I will state this for any digital purchases, like from Xbox Games, EA, Steam, GOG, Epic, or Sony. Um, they are games distribution platforms. So you need to make sure you are reading your TOS and your EULA because in those it will literally tell you and define to you that how do I say this? It's conditional licensing to access the game. So you already don't unless you buy a physical copy. And
But
for PC players, it's unfortunate because we have to go through these for this nowadays because a lot of PCs don't have the a CD-ROM, right? Yeah,
CD-ROM.
CD-ROM.
Yep.
I was like, I almost
the
forgot the
point.
word for it.
That's the point I'm trying to make
But
is
I know that's the point you're trying to make, but at the same rate, it's a hobby. This
Well,
is
here's the other point
again,
too.
this is
I'm
a
trying.
hold on, let me hold on. I'm getting back to the point. Let me circle back around. This is a luxury. If you cannot afford a luxury, you can't afford a luxury.
But you're still
That's
miss.
how it's always been. That's how it's always been.
Can I say my point?
Yeah, go ahead, say your point.
What I'm trying to say is Remember when the PS5 originally came out? They had the versions of having a digital version and a
Hmm.
physical version.
Hmm.
And then they got rid of the first physical version all the way.
Hmm.
Gaming console companies and just consoles in general should be able to have the physical version available for those who want to buy physical copies.
I don't disagree with that, but I'm stating as what it is now, not what it should be. Because everybody
Well,
agrees it should be better. People should be nice to each other. We should all hold hands and sing
it
kumbaya. But
doesn't happen.
that's not the reality of it.
I know,
We're
but
talking about the
that's
reality of the situation. Like I
Well,
get your point, but my
here's
point is that gaming is a hobby, just like owning. Like for some people, going out and shooting sports and hunting and whatnot, that's a hobby, but that's also a luxury. If you can't put money into it, then you can't. To make it more accessible is a decent thing to do. Don't get me wrong. I'm not disagreeing that we should make things more accessible because it's pretty predatory in terms of pricing and whatnot. But at the end of the day, the only way that we can invoke change is by voting, like speaking with our wallets. Don't purchase from these people. Don't stop buying video games.
and
Stop paying for subscription services.
this comes back and boils down to those people who will stand by a gaming publisher or a gaming company and will continuously dump their money and lick from the corporate boot of that company.
Yeah.
well, here's the other thing too is we're always demanding a better game, and hands down, the better game is a live service. And that I truly believe in the next 24 to 48 months, you're going to see a big transfer from the physical copies to these live servers.
Well, we already
I
have.
We already
honestly,
have.
I know, but I know, I think you're going to see more of a shift that way. And I honestly think that some of these bigger companies like Rockstar and Bethesda and all them, they're going to go the way of World of Warcraft, where you're just buying an update to the base game.
But my other thing that I want to that I think about when I think of,
Because
having this online, being able to buy an online copy of it and having an access code to it, I believe you should be able to still have access to that single player no matter what. Even if they do shut off like their online services to that, you should still be able to play that game in the single player mode if it has a single player mode attached to it. They shouldn't be able to just take it from your library.
yeah, I agree with that point. If it's a single player, then
Hell,
you've
I
bought the game and it should stay in your
If
account.
I'm just going to state this, that they should do that. However, at the same rate, you are buying, specifically for PC, you are buying a conditional game license. Conditional. That is what that statement is. If you did not read the TOS or the UELA, then you, of
That's
course
you.
that's on you.
okay,
That
but
for
this is
legalese, hold on, for legalese reasons, they let you look through all of that to read it all, so you understand what is going on and what might
They
happen.
know nobody does it.
But they know nobody does it. Of course, nobody does it. But that's the same point as to why these people are going to try to sue to get support back for a game that's old and outdated and whatnot, because they didn't take the time to literally look through the TOS and everything to understand that they have conditional license agreement. It's
right.
And
conditional.
it's like a
I
2 minute
They do
fight.
not own it. So that's why I'm stating this. Gaming companies should be better. Absolutely, we should hold them to a higher standard. We need to hold people to a higher standard. The industry in general, the market, the consumer to a higher standard as well. People need to be more literate on reading the terms of services and anything they may try to just agree to, because at the end of the day, we're only shooting ourselves in the foot here. It's on both sides. It's not just on the companies.
Yeah, and I do agree with that because I'm gonna say something pretty niche here, and I know Godfather used to play this back in the day too. I went back and I bought an old RTS called Command and Conquer. It was a game that spanned from 1998 to 2008, I believe. And although the online services are not available, and when I say online services, you could still play LAN with people if you really wanted to.
No
But
matchmaking
no matchmaking though. But you can still go on and still play those maps. You can still play the skirmish mode, campaign mode, or the
though. Hmm.
the third mode that they had added put into it. Even though it's 25 to 20 to 30-year-old game.
Who owns the rights to Command and Conquer?
EA.
So if you purchase that through any sort of gaming distribution platform like Steam or Origin or anything like that, you definitely don't own that. You can access the single player still, but at any point in time, they could just pull that from your library. Like, all right, your license is done.
Well, thank God I got the first like 4 on digital
Yeah,
or
I
on
was gonna say you have the
on
disc.
CD copy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One thing I do want to bring up real quick. I know we're close to wrapping up here.
Yep.
I do want to bring up back up the point of the delay for GTA 6. It is felt throughout everywhere, and Take Two is definitely feeling it, where their stock price dropped nearly 11% due to the news of GTA 6 being delayed to
Oh
May
yeah.
26th.
Oh yeah. I know.
Good.
I'm looking
Good.
at that. I'm like, I should buy in more.
Good.
Because you know that stuff. If
Good.
GTA
It's
6,
gonna shoot right
hmm
back up once it,
GTA
yeah,
6
once it launches.
once it launches is gonna shoot.
All right, Fireball, you gonna take us out?
Yep, I can take us out. This was a good conversation today. We came prepared, and there was stuff to actually talk about today. You know, these last few weeks that we've been having trying to talk about industry news, we kind of been getting a little off topic. That's because there really hasn't been much going on, and we've kind of just been scraping whatever we can to talk about. Um, I'm happy that they delayed, but at the same time, it's like you have to give some sort of transparency with us when it comes to GTA 6. But I'm out of town right now. I've currently got some personal things going on, so I won't. I'll probably be back by Tuesday to be able to stream, and then I'll see you guys for the Tuesday night session with the Nomad Gamers.
Hey, what's up, Nomad Nation? Oh, good lord, we got an echo again. But either way, so Talking Tuesday and Thirsty Thursday was a huge success. I had some of my highest viewership on it. So for that, thank you. Um, yeah, we're gonna start streaming again starting Monday. Uh, I am going to be working on the actual production side of the Shire hot and heavy starting right after this recording. And hopefully the Nomad Gamers moves in within the next week, maybe week and a half. So be looking for some big changes around here from us. Other than that, I think I announced on Thirsty Thursday my streams from now on are going to be from the PC, and I'm going to be streaming some of the older games from the Fallout series, going back to Fallout 2 and working our way forward. So I invite you to come out and watch that Mondays, Wednesdays, and I'll announce if I'm going to be on Friday or not from 4 to 7 p.m. Central Time. Hey, Chungus, that's all I got.
Hello. So, as I stated, Baldur's Gate 3 video is in the works. The expected release date will be probably Thursday or Friday. This upcoming Thursday or Friday, depending on when you're. And you know what? I'm probably just gonna have to specify more. Be more specific about it, I guess, because it could be a big. You could be watching this another day, another time. I'm talking about the 8th of May and the 9th of May. Those are the expected release. That's the expected release timeline for this Baldur's Gate 3 video. So I hope you guys will enjoy that. It's a bit of a long one. I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot to cover with Baldur's Gate 3. So expect that video from me. I have other projects in the work at this time. Getting my creative brain juices flowing and whatnot. I hope you guys will enjoy anything that comes out in the future. And that's all I got. So let's bring this all back together. Yopa.
Damn.
All right, well, that good episode, boys. That was
Yeah, it was
pretty
good.
amazing. Again, let's hope that uh news like this keeps rolling around and we actually have something to talk about.
We always have
We
something to
always have
talk
something
about.
to talk about. It's always something to talk about.
All right, but
Yep.
I gotta go. I'll see you guys later. Thank you guys for watching Nomad Gamers.
Peace and love. Godfather's out the door.
All right. Well, that's all of us. I'm just gonna end the recording here. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Uh, I gotta go find a. If anybody has any good tips on how to get rid of a body discreetly, please put them down in the comments down below. I have somebody who might need to become fertilizer or something at this point in time. This is Kaiser Chungus. Ciao.